All right, let's talk about how we can completely transform the way you learn and, maybe more importantly, actually remember new words. We're going to build a powerful strategy, literally from the ground up, so you can stop forgetting and start communicating with real confidence.
Okay, let's start with something I think we can all relate to. You know that feeling, right? You find a fantastic new word. You look it up, you think, I'm totally going to use this. And then, poof, the next day, it's just gone. It's so frustrating, but today, we're going to fix that.
So, this brings us to what I like to call the vocabulary paradox. It feels like we're surrounded by this ocean of words, right? We're always told to read more or learn more, but even with all that effort, it can feel like we're just treading water, not actually getting any closer to real fluency. So, what's going on here? To give you some perspective on that ocean of words, look at this number: 171,146. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, that's how many words are in current use in English. Trying to learn them all? It feels impossible. But here's the secret: you absolutely don't have to. And this is where things get really interesting. Research shows that if you just focus on and master the 2,000 most common high-frequency words, you can understand a whopping 80% of everyday language. Just think about that for a second. That is a massive, massive return on your effort.
So, this completely changes our game plan. We can stop trying to boil the ocean and memorize the entire dictionary. The real goal is so much smarter. It's about learning the right words, and this is key, learning them the right way so they actually stick around. And to do that, we're going to use a model I call the learner's pyramid. Okay, so let's start at the very bottom of our pyramid. This is the foundation, and it's all about creating a word-rich environment for yourself. It's about building the simple habit of consistent, pretty low-effort exposure. Think of these as the background habits that just fill your well with new words. You're not forcing it, you're just making sure you're constantly bumping into new language by reading things you enjoy, listening to interesting podcasts or talks, and, just paying a little more attention. This consistent exposure is like creating rich soil, and it makes all the active techniques we're about to talk about so much more effective. All right, time to climb up to the next level of the pyramid. This is where we stop being passive observers and start taking real, deliberate control over our learning. These are the tools that are going to turbocharge your growth. One of the best tools in our toolkit is something called the WRAP method. It's not passive at all. It's an active process that's designed to get different parts of your brain involved to forge really strong, lasting memories of new words. So how does this work? It's brilliant in its simplicity. First, you write the word down. The physical act itself helps lock it in. Then, you repeat it out loud, strengthening that connection in your brain. Next, you associate it with something you already know, giving it a mental hook to hang on. And finally, you picture it, create a little mental movie or image. WRAP. Simple, right? Now, beyond learning words one by one, what if I told you there's a way to unlock whole families of words all at once? The secret is understanding their little building blocks. This skill is called morphology, and honestly, it's a learning superpower. Just look at this. By learning a few common Greek and Latin roots, you can start to decode words you've never even seen before. Like, once you know that port means to carry, you instantly get a handle on words like portable, transportation, and import. It's like having a cheat code for the language. This is what strategic learning is all about. And now we've reached the peak of the pyramid. This is where we pull in a little bit of cognitive science. This is the engine that makes all these other techniques so incredibly powerful and makes sure all your hard work actually pays off. So to make this all work, we have to face a fundamental truth about our brains. They aren't designed to remember everything. They're actually designed to forget stuff they think is unimportant. It's an efficiency thing. This idea was famously mapped out way back by a psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus, and he called it the forgetting curve. And man, is it a steep curve. It's kind of shocking, actually. Within just 1 hour, you've probably lost more than half of what you just learned. A day later, almost 70% is gone. Now, this isn't some personal flaw, it's just how our memory works by default. Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. If our brains are literally built to forget, how in the world do we fight back? How do we tell our brain, hey, this new word is important, keep this one? Well, the answer is all about working with your brain's natural rhythm instead of fighting against it. Just look at these two approaches. On one side, you have cramming, that frantic all-night session that feels productive but, as we know, leads to you forgetting everything almost immediately. But on the other side, we have the scientifically proven solution, spaced repetition. And here's the magic of why it's so effective. It all comes down to timing. With spaced repetition, you review information at longer and longer intervals, and you do it right at the exact moment you're about to forget it. Every time you do that, you interrupt that forgetting curve and send a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, this is important. File this one away for the long term. Okay, so let's bring all the pieces of our pyramid together now and talk about the ultimate goal. Because just learning a bunch of words isn't really the point, is it? It's just the beginning. I absolutely love this piece of advice from a writer on Reddit. It just cuts right to the chase, you know? It's a great reminder that the goal isn't just to collect words like trading cards. It's not about showing off how many big words you know. Ultimately, a powerful vocabulary is a tool. That's it. And just like any tool, its real value is in how you use it. The true goal here is to be able to express your ideas with more precision, more clarity, and more confidence. It's about finding the perfect word for the moment, not just the most complicated one. So I'll leave you with this final thought, a little challenge. All this information is great, but it's only powerful if you actually use it. So think about it. What's one word you've come across recently that you'd love to really make your own? Just one. Take that word and run it through the pyramid this week. Write it, repeat it, associate it, picture it, and set up a couple of reminders to review it. Make that word stick.